Welcome to BoxTheBase on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day, and we have a ton of baseball to talk about because we are going to have actual meaningful games. Finally, the Cubs and Dodgers are going to be playing in Japan, and it's going to be a ton of fun. I mean, just thinking about all the Japanese stars that are going to be there, Shohei Ohtani, like just from the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, and then you have the guys from the Cubs, Shota Imanaga, and Seiya Suzuki. And that's not the only stars, but I want to take a moment to really dive deeper into these teams and break down their roster a little more in depth. So if you see me looking off screen, it's because I'm looking at my phone because I have a few notes. But yeah, let's dive into these into this team. To me, I think the Cubs have more overall depth to their team. But let's talk about the Dodgers first. So the Dodgers have more star players. And just speaking offensively, the Dodgers do have more star players. Well, maybe not offensively. Overall, the Dodgers have more superstar players. You know, they have Freddie Freeman, they have Shohei Ohtani. For the Cubs, I would only count who Kyle Tucker that they got this offseason. That's how I would count as like their superstar player. But when you start looking after that, and only talking offensive, I'm not talking about the pitching side. On the Dodgers, you have Max Muncy, Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, I wouldn't mention Miguel Rojas, but you have guys like that there, because they have Michael Conforto. I would consider some of those guys above average, but not really star players and not really superstar players, right? And it's like there's not a lot there. I mean, you haven't even heard me mention Mookie Betts because he will not be playing in Japan because he got sick. So, like, to me, when you look at the Cubs, who after their superstar player, which is Kyle Tucker, you have guys like Ian Happ, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, Seiya Suzuki, Dansby Swanson. And if you want, you can even mention guys like Nico Horner and Matt Shaw, who's gonna be a rookie, but he's impressed at every single stop that he's been at. I mean, Matt Shaw has been impressive at the Premier 12, impressive in the minor leagues, impressive in spring training. And hey, he's going to get the nod, hopefully, at third base, but at least he's going with them to Japan. So honestly, I mean, when you look at it on paper, yes, the Dodgers might have more superstar players, especially when you start adding in the pitching, Tyler Glass now, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, um, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. But when you look at the Cubs team, I think they have a little more depth than guys on the Dodgers. But at the end of the day, this is exactly why these games are not played on paper and they're played on the diamond. And honestly, it's going to be a lot of fun in Japan because we're finally getting into MLB opening day officially. I know the rest of the league doesn't start opening day until the 27th, but at least we're going to have opening day with Dodgers versus Cubs. Finally, some meaningful games. Because I'm going to be honest with you, spring training, it is a lot of fun because we have baseball season back. But then after like the first few games, it kind of gets redundant. I understand why it's there. I understand why it exists. But it's just like, move along. Players just want to get to the regular season. Players just want to start playing meaningful games that actually mean something to their record and start marching towards the playoffs. Um, so yeah, Japan series is gonna be a lot of fun because we have two what I think are very great teams playing over it. Dodgers and Cubs, and they've already played a few exhibition games. I know the Dodgers got shut out in one of them. Not the Dodgers. My bad. The Cubs got shut out 3-0 in one of them. I know Ohtani already went deep in Japan. What's new there? I mean, he played for so many seasons, so it's nothing new to him going deep in Japan and hitting homers in Japan. Yeah, they played a lot of exhibition games, and they're finally kicking off the season. And that's going to be starting tomorrow, Tuesday, March 18th and 19th. I'm East Coast time, so those games are going to be played on the East Coast, 6 a.m. I'm going to wake up and watch those games. You better set your alarms and watch those games because baseball is back, and it's always amazing to have baseball back in our lives after it being gone all winter. Moving on, I want to talk about the Boston Red Sox because, in my opinion, they are the best team in the American League. They had what I think was the best offseason out of any MLB team. They had they had a lot of great offseason. I mean, they had guys like Walker Bueller signed. They traded for Garrett Crochet. They're gonna have Tristan Casas come back for a full season because he spent a lot of 2024 hurt. They're gonna have hopefully Trevor Story can be healthy and ready and not get injured again because he's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career and be at shortstop. They're gonna probably have guys like Roman Anthony out there in the outfield. They're gonna have guys like they're gonna have guys like probably Marcelo Myers who can plug in at either second base or something around there. And honestly, you haven't heard me mention Alex Bregman yet. Why? Because that's where I think the positivity with this team and all the great stuff they did in the offseason starts to finish. Because yes, signing Alex Bregman is amazing. Alex Bregman has been one of the best third baseman in the league since he debuted. Basically, he is phenomenal. I cannot say that word. He is phenomenal on defense, and he is amazing at the plate. But that's kind of a problem that the Red Sox are going to have to solve here because they also have a phenomenal third baseman in Rafael Devers. Now, Devers is not necessarily a great defender. Alex Bregman is miles ahead of him defensively, but Rafael Devers is an amazing hitter. And here's the problem. They signed Alex Bregman. They want him to play third base because he's really great defensively. He's an amazing hitter, so they want him to play third base for them. But the issue is Rafael Devers, who's been the Red Sox third baseman since he debuted, does not want to step off of third base. And that is where a problem has risen for these Red Sox because they want to play Alex Bregman at third base because he's great defensively. Rafael Devers doesn't want to get off of third base. And here's the issue that's going to happen, right? Because there's been speculation and rumors that Rafael Devers could ask for a trade. And that would be disastrous for the Red Sox because the Red Sox do not want to have to deal with having to trade Rafael Devers. He is arguably one of the best left-handed hitters in the league. He is top five defensive, not defensive. He is top five offensive lefties in the league, and he is not 4 or 5. And he might even be top five overall, like not only lefty but just overall. And that can be a problem for the Red Sox if he ends up requesting a trade. We've been trading away one of the best offensive players that the game has possibly ever seen. And here's where I view this going, and this is where I think these options for the Red Sox are. They either find something to do with Alex Bregman and move him off of third base and put him at second. They come to an agreement with Devers and they tell him, look, we want what's best for the team. We want you to stay here. We do not want you to ask out. We do not want you to request a trade. We want you here. And they end up making an agreement and put him at DH. Make him the full-time designated hitter and make him be on board with that. Or their final option is going to be, which is the worst one of all, trade him because he's not going to be happy that he's not playing third base. He's not going to be content being full-time DH, and he's going to want to leave Boston and go play somewhere else where they're going to allow him to play third base full-time. Now, if there was any other team, they'd probably suck it up, put him at third base, and you're moving on. But the thing is that this is not any other team. They have a stacked team. They have Alex Bregman who can play better third base. They have a guy like Marcelo Myers who can play second base, or even Kristen Campbell. So there is already these positions filled, and you can't just slot in Devers somewhere else. You know, it's not that easy. Now, like I said, one of their options could be come to an agreement and make him the full-time DH, but that does come with having to work out and iron out some things because they have Masataka Yoshida, who's been their DH since he signed out of Japan with the Red Sox, and he really cannot play anywhere else. I mean, he is a liability defensively. I know he plays the outfield, but he's just not good out there. He is a liability. So he has been their full-time DH. If they move Devers there, they're taking at bats away from someone like Masataka Yoshida, and that could be a problem for somebody like Masataka Yoshida losing at bats. So, I mean, if they end up having to trade somebody, I would say make it be Masataka Yoshida because trading away someone like Masataka Yoshida is a way easier pill to swallow than trading away somebody like Rafael Devers, who is one of the best offensive players in the league. I mean, he has been damn near superstar, like generational. You're not trading somebody like that. So you guys let me know what you think the Red Sox should do with their whole Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers situation and how they should iron that out. If they should trade away somebody or if they can fix it and and make it work without having to trade or get rid of any players currently. So I mean, comment down below and let me know your thoughts on that one because I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Red Sox roll out their lineup on opening day and how they do it moving forward. I mean, does somebody end up getting moved? Let me know. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about, which actually came out pretty recently, was the fact that Joey Gallo is not going to make the White Sox team, who, by the way, broke the record last year for most losses. And Joey Gallo has been abysmal at the plate the last few years. When he was coming up with Texas, Joey Gallo was he looked like he was going to be a premier power hitter. And he had that in him. He had a lot of strikeout issues, but he was still hitting for good power. But he has fallen off tremendously since leaving Texas. And now he took to Twitter and announced that he's gonna be switching to full-time pitcher. Which, hey, I mean, we have seen his arm in the outfield. He has a tremendous arm. If he can find command, if he learns how to control the ball and he has command, he could be just another flamethrower that somebody can add to the back of the bullpen. Now, it's probably not going to be this season. It's probably going to take a few years for him to actually develop as a pitcher. But I think it's a good move. If he still wants to play and he feels like he can transition over to being a pitcher, why not? I mean, let him let him try it, you know? If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it does not. You guys let me know in the comments how you feel about him switching over to the mound because honestly, I think it's going to be very interesting to see him on the mound. I mean, I think he can be a very imposing pitcher if he learns command, throws hard, and he's already a big dude. You know, he's like, I don't know his height off the top of my head, but he's a very, very, very big dude as it is. So I think it's going to be great for this team. Great for any team, really, that signs him and takes him on as like a project. And if he works out as a pitcher, I think he could be a little decent guy, you know, in somebody's bullpen. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I don't think he's going to get there, but he could be somebody in someone's bullpen who can be another flamethrower, you know, because we see so many of those in the league now. So, kind of just to recap what we've talked about in this episode, as it's going to be a short one, but I really just want to get here and make like a little recap episode of what's to come and what's been interesting in the news. Is you got to make sure to get up for the Japan series, Cubs versus Dodgers. Let me know who you think wins those two games. Let me know what the Red Sox got to do with Rafael Devers because they have a very interesting situation on their hands, and Rafael Devers has not played yet in spring training. And also, you have to let me know how you feel about Joey Gallo becoming a full-time pitcher now that hitting has clearly not worked out for him in the MLB. So yes, this was a shorter episode compared to all my other ones. I just kind of wanted to do a little recap and talk a little in more detail about, you know, some of the things that are going to be happening this week and going around baseball. But make sure to subscribe here on Box of Base. Make sure to go in the description, Follow me on all my socials. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.